welcome back to Buffalo Boys, the official podcast of the West Park Fantasy League. As always, it is Ryan, along with my co-host Todd. Todd, we are back in our respective homes after a jam-packed week of live podcasting, gambling, golfing, and celebrating our great commissioner and his last few weeks of not being a married man. First up, have you recovered, and are you missing all of our pals?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely missing everyone. It was so much fun. One of the coolest trips of the year. Definitely a highlight. I love getting to see the Severe. That was something to tell your kids about, honestly. Recommend everyone out there go. Maybe they'll become a sponsor at some point. Adler's talking with them right now. We'll see. And shout out to all of our faithful listeners and supporters of Mattress Blacks, because somehow he rolled us out in a penthouse suite in the Cosmopolitan, and that was really cool. Shout out to Doug for that one. Yeah, I'm still recovering, mainly from work, because apparently I was supposed to be doing work while I was out with the amount of emails I had. I'm drowning, but happy to be here. But don't expect a lot of good stats or prep this week, Ryan.
No worries, Todd. We went hard. We had a good time. It was great seeing you, great seeing all the lads, and an awesome, super fun live podcast that we did in Scottsdale. That's episode 10. You can go watch that on YouTube right now. Before we begin this podcast, of course, we need to give a special shout out to our sponsors. And why not start off with our good friends at Mattress Blacks?
I got a king-size mattress that's good for your bird.
Not sure if you heard this, Todd, but Mattress Blacks was winning people a lot of money at the roulette table this weekend, and also lost a lot of people money. They won me money, so I'm happy. This week, customers who use the promo code VEGAS at checkout can get 61% off their first purchase. That is promo code VEGAS, VEGAS. And as always, at Mattress Blacks, you can get a king-size mattress that's good for your back.
Yeah, going down on Mattress Blacks, they helped me get up 20% on Vegas. So I walked away with a strong $20. Yes, I did not bet that much.
Congratulations, Todd. A win is a win.
Farmer Dave, just like last week, didn't have anything he wanted to contribute this week.
Yeah, awesome. Todd, I saw you were sipping on something that looked a little colorful. What are you sipping on?
I'm hydrating this week, Ryan. I'm hydrating on some Noon. This one is tangerine blueberry, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a nice little hydration time. What about you?
Nice. Nothing says the boys just got back from a long week of partying than drinking a hydrating beverage during the pod. Of course, I'm drinking some ice water, as I usually do. It is almost 5:30, which means I just got off the clock. I don't really feel like drinking right now. But, Todd, for the first time this year, I'm actually eating dinner as we are recording. I've got some chicken fettuccine Alfredo from Maggiano's. And this is actually something that I no longer want to gatekeep. I would like to share this as an exclusive to all of our Buffalo Boys listeners. If any of you work or live near a Maggiano's, you have to go at lunch. Here's why they should go, Todd. Maggiano's has a lunch special for $13.99 where you can get a full salad, and their salads are really good. I know what you're thinking. It's a salad. The salads are really good. And you can get a half sandwich or a full flatbread. So I usually get the chicken parm sandwich. It's really good. Plus, they give you some of that awesome Italian bread that you dip in the olive oil. You got some pepper in there. You got some Parmesan cheese. It is to die for. And on top of all that, after a full lunch meal, you get an additional pasta, a full pasta for dinner for $6 additional, which means that before tip, after taxes, you are getting 2 meals for $21. In this economy, Todd, unmatched. You know I'm all about my deals, and I didn't want to sit on that one. This is the second time I've eaten Maggiano's for lunch, and I will continue to go back. It's the best deal in town, the best deal maybe in the United States right now.
That's amazing, Ryan. And you know what? That's an even better deal than our newest sponsor, Adler's Fine Rugs. Adler's Fine Rugs wants you guys to know that you can trade 3 times a week. New rugs, you can bring them in, try it out, bring it back. And then next week you can have a new trade and a new rug and just be living with your finest rugs for the rest of your life. So come on in, try it out. You'll love it. You'll walk right over it just like you would if you were playing Adler's fantasy team this week.
Got him. Nice. Congratulations to our newest sponsor, Adler. Great to have you on the program. I hope you've sent money to Todd because I haven't received any. But yeah, great to have you on the pod. And can't wait to check out one of those rugs. Well, Todd, without further ado, I guess we should hop right in to the pod. Episode 11, week 11. And looking back, of course, we start out with quality control coach of the week, Todd. Who was your quality control of the coach this week?
This week, it goes to our latest sponsor, Adler, continuing his hot streak and getting a much-needed win over you this week, Ryan. He picked up Trey McBride, who went off for 17 points. It wasn't all perfect. He started the Jets defense and almost cost himself the game, if not for our own clown owner this week. And his roster faux pas. And that, Ryan, the clown owner this week, is you. For the first time this season, in a crucial matchup, you chose a regrettable decision to start 2 tight ends, and that came back to bite you, where you left 10 points on the bench and a win just out of reach.
Okay, Todd, you are referring to my decision to not play Adams in the flex position and to play Taysom Hill instead. But if I may remind you of the 2 previous weeks that Taysom Hill had, 21.96 points against Indy and 18.6 points against Chicago. Of course, George Kittle is my number 1 tight end. Can't let him sit. He had 19 points last week. I mean, I will accept the clown owner of the week, but boy, I mean, if it's clownish to score 119 points and still lose, I mean, that's I don't know. Maybe we have different definitions of clown, but
I was actually referring to your benching of Latavius Murray, the GOAT. You should have known he would have been scoring those touchdowns against a weak Denver defense, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, that hurt too. But if I may, Antonio Gibson, who I did start in front of him, had actually more points, 14 points, instead of the, 13.9. 13.9. I mean, very, very close. But
yeah, but Murray in the flex over your double tight end.
I mean, come Todd. Okay.
This is like roll out the Adler Fine rug because this man, he needs to get a trade.
Okay. Hey, if you agree with Todd, let us know in the group me. Because I don't agree with being called clown owner this week. But hey, Todd, I will respect it. It is your podcast as well. You have editorial control. So I will just shut my mouth and I will just take the L. Congrats, Adler. Let's see. Moving on. Transaction review. Now, Todd, we are coming to you just a couple hours after some big trades happened. It's been a very tradey week. We had some great trades that happened live during the bachelor party, which was really exciting to see. Lots to recap. What do you want to talk about first?
Let's go with today. Today was a big day of trades. We had Adler trading for – oh, wait, not Adler. Who's last? Sorry.
I got you. That is AJ.
AJ trading for Austin Eckler, trading away Austin Eckler, Trevor Lawrence, and Tyler Lockett for Jimmy's Justin Herbert, Travis Etienne, and Cortland Sutton. Is that right? I'm probably saying it backwards. Jimmy's cringing right now, but you know.
Yeah, AJ received Khalil Herbert and Saquon Barkley. AJ received them. Mike received Travis Etienne. Is that what we're talking about?
That was another one, right?
Yes, that was another one. Was there a trade today involving? Wow. Okay.
We're pulling apart the web here.
Wow. Yeah, they're okay. This was quite a tradey day indeed. I see which one you're talking about, Todd. It was the first one of the day. Happened transacted at 11:20 a.m. Eastern today between Jimmy and AJ. Let's see here. AJ received Herbert, Etienne, and Cortland Sutton. Jimmy received Lawrence, Eckler, Lockett. What do you think of that trade?
It's it's pretty surprising. Jimmy's definitely trying to lean in on the who's got a good matchup in the playoffs idea or rest of the season. But the weirdest thing about it to me is that Jimmy asked for Trevor Lawrence only to immediately drop him. So effectively, it was Eckler and Lockett for Herbert, Etienne, and Sutton. You could consider Eckler and Etienne a wash. I'd probably rather have Eckler despite Etienne's dominance so far this season. I've never been a fan of Sutton. He usually somewhat proves me wrong. So I don't know. Lockett has a great schedule the rest of the season as well. It could be two high ceiling plays for Jimmy there. But I just don't get the Trevor Lawrence piece, so it's a bit confusing. I think overall AJ won.
Yeah, I think that drop is really interesting. I think Lawrence wasn't having a bad season. He had an awful game against San Francisco. He recorded 2 points. Pretty bad. But I think the rest of his season, the schedule is okay. And another quarterback that got dropped today, Will Levis, he hadn't been doing very well. AJ picked up Tutu Atwell instead.
Russ got dropped. Just moments before the pod, I believe Russ Wilson got dropped. He wasn't cooking anymore.
No, unfortunately not. Nope. Makes for the waiver wire QB situation pretty interesting. And of course, Todd, that was one of 3 trades that happened today. The other one, let's talk about the other Jimmy trade. He traded with Mike.
Mike traded the recently acquired Lockett for Justin Fields and Jahan Dotson. Yep. I'm sure Doug's out there saying that's a terrible trade because that's 100 fab and Jahan Dotson for a starting wide receiver. So, I like the trade for Mike.
Oh, you don't mind him getting rid of Justin Fields?
No, he's obviously decided Burrow's back to full health and able to dominate, and Justin Fields is still a little bit of a risk. So I think it's a safe play. Get some value, upgrade a receiver, which he definitely needed. And it's also good for Jimmy. I think Dotson, he's with the number 5 QB overall in the season. So he could have a good finish on the season.
Yeah. Jimmy also ended up dropping Jordan Love there. He dropped 2 QBs today. That's interesting. Finally, Mike and AJ traded, as I said earlier. AJ got Herbert and Barkley. Mike got Travis Etienne and dropped Robert Woods, who's part of this interesting quad mix of wide receivers. Who's going to get the action this week for CJ Stroud? Obviously, AJ doesn't think it's going to be Robert Woods. What did you think of this trade?
Yeah. This is an interesting one. I can see why someone would like it. I'm pretty low on both Herbert and Barkley. I just don't see a lot of. That's 2 bad offensive lines there. Barkley is just putting the whole Giants offense on his back, and sometimes does well. But I feel like, it's a gamble, and he still has a Q over his head. Herbert's just coming off IR. Does he actually pick up the lead role again? I doubt it. But also, if it works out, it'll work out big. So I like the risk and reward here for AJ, especially since he's at the bottom of the league standing so far.
Yeah, he needs to do something. There are obviously a couple more trades to not have this segment be a 20-minute trade recap. Let's talk about the one that happened yesterday. I thought this was pretty interesting. Mike got rid of DeAndre Swift. He traded him to Neil, who's tied top of the table. In return, Mike got Joe Mixon and Jake Ferguson, tight end for Dallas. I think the last thing that anyone wanted to see was Neil get another really good running back. I think he won this trade. Not to say that Mike lost the trade, but Mixon is fine, but DeAndre Swift is good. What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, Ferguson is really good. He could be a significant improvement for Mike's roster. And then I don't know. I feel like Mixon's a bit washed, so that was a bit curious. But not that much of a downgrade. I think Mike, he was trying to ship Swift during the bachelor party. He's worried about his rest of the season schedule. I'm not up to date or up to speed on why, but Mike's usually ahead of the curve on some of these trades. So I feel like he could have gotten a little bit more value from him. Either that or he thinks Ferguson is going to be really, really good down the stretch. It's hard to know the motivations. I think on the face of it, Neil basically locked up a finals matchup with that trade, and that's not that fun. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes for Mike this week.
Yeah, one final thought. I was involved in some trade talks with a number of people who made trades today. And, clearly it didn't work out for us. And now I was talking about shipping CMC. I was serious about it. I had made a couple, maybe not offers, but there were some talks.
Overtures.
Yeah. And obviously all of that has gone up in smoke. So I guess I'm keeping CMC.
Too late.
I guess it's not too late, but I don't know who would be willing to trade me at this point and who I would want to take people from. Because
I don't know who's on anyone's roster at this point. I was going through the predictions that we're about to do and just being like, which team is this? So, I think everyone has the itch right now. Everyone kind of wants to get in before the trade deadline coming up. So I think now's a prime time, Ryan. People don't know what they have. They don't have their solidified stances. I think you sneak in that back door and you get that value.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely have my ears out for trades this week. We'll see what happens, Todd. Anyway, thanks for your thoughts on those transactions. And now it is time for matchup rundown. Todd, I know we sort of did our matchup rundown live last week. I didn't write down who I picked, so I don't have my updated standings. Do you know how your picks did last week?
Yeah, Ryan. Definitely another dominant week for me. I hit 6 of 7. I only missed on picking Mike Simpson over Hoyle, and that leaves me at 47-23 on the season so far, a smooth 67%. Pretty happy about that. We're going to continue to stack that success and have another strong week.
Congratulations. That's awesome. And moving on, it is week 11 matchup rundown. As we always do, we start off with the best teams and go down from there. Right now, there are 2 league leaders, Neil and Doug. They are both 7-3. This week, Neil is taking on 5-5 Hoyle. Neil is projected to win without a kicker. I can't remember. Did Neil not start a kicker last week, Todd?
He ended up starting one.
Okay, got it. Well, whether Neil decides to start a kicker or not, I think he is winning this matchup. And with that Swift trade, I'm just really scared of Neil's team. He's looking really good.
Yeah, what's actually pretty crazy, Ryan, is he waited to the last moment on Sunday, picked up Jason Myers, who posted 22.9 points. It might be one of the highest field goal kicking games, individual games this season. So, roulette's going your way when something like that happens.
Absolutely. Do you like Neil this week as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Neil lose this week, given Aaron Jones and Keenan are banged up. But I'm still going with Neil. It seems to be the house odds right there.
Our other league leader, Doug, He is taking on 4-6 Jimmy this week. Jimmy involved in at least 2 trades today. I can't recall if he made any trades earlier in the week, but this is definitely a guy on the move, looking to improve that record and looking to sneak into the playoffs. Todd, who do you like in this one?
I like Jimmy. On the other side of it is Doug, and here's a guy who doesn't know when to walk away from a table, and he's got a lot of wins, just like he did in Vegas, but unfortunately it's going to be another loss this week. I just have a good feeling about Jimmy.
Okay, very good. I think this one could be close. Jimmy obviously making some really good moves. With that said, I think my pick is Doug. CJ Stroud has a super favorable matchup against Arizona this week. He's projected at 20. I think he could surpass that. I think it could be a really big week for Houston. Tyreek against Vegas could also be a really nasty matchup in favor of Doug. So I'm taking him to go 8-3.
Yeah, the Dolphins definitely tend to beat up on the really bad teams, the sub 500. So that is a risk there. But I think Jimmy, he just brought a bunch of fresh talent in, and I think they're ready to play for their new coach.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like 7-3 teams, there are also 6-4 teams on in the WPFL right now. One of them is the Bachelor himself, Nixon. He is taking on 5-5 Adler, one of our newest sponsors. Adler, of course, who squeaked out a victory against me in what I thought was a really good matchup. Adler's team just keeps getting better, Todd, and I think he is going to win again this week.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Ryan. Adler's up 11-8 all time on Nixon, and new team who dis. It's still a juggernaut. That's all I can tell you. Adler's going to win.
The last 6-4 team currently standing is my team. I am taking on last place Rick, who is 3-7. Todd, I haven't been so excited to play in WPFL for quite some time. This is a very exciting matchup for me. It was a tough loss against Adler, but I'm feeling really good against Rick. I'm projected to win by 16 points. I think it's going to be even more than that. I don't think this one's going to be close, and I'm looking forward to going 7-4. Do you think I'm wrong?
Wouldn't it be poetic, Ryan, if Rick gets his 4th win over you after your prediction on the season?
Todd, don't even put that bad juju on me, please. Just agree with me and let's move on.
This is my almost upset of the week for you, Ryan. I think you're going to be stressing on Monday night, but I think you're still going to win.
All right. Thank you for that, Todd. Our last 3 matchups of the week are all 5-5 teams taking on 4-6 teams. Some pretty intriguing matchups, actually. Let's start out with your game, Todd. You are playing AJ, who is in quite the tradey boy today. How do you like your chances against his new team?
I like my odds. I like my odds so much that I'm going to put a weekly wager on it. My team ahead, $5 straight up.
Okay. You heard it here first, Buffalo Boys listeners. Get those money orders in.
And just like last week, I'm going to beat AJ in the weekly wager.
I wish you luck, Todd. Yeah, Montgomery against Chicago is the main matchup that I'm looking for here, although I think this will be close. And I'm dubbing it the game of the week. Yeah, I agree with you, Todd. I like your team here. Up next is Forrest versus Mike Simpson. Although ESPN is projecting a 6-point win for Mike here, I'm turning on those alarm bells, Todd, and I'm calling this for upset alert. Tua versus Vegas could be really nasty, as you mentioned before. The Cowboys defense could make the Panthers look like a Division III college team this week. That could be a really, really nasty game to watch. And then Dalton Schultz will probably score a touchdown against Arizona. So, yeah, I like Forrest.
Ryan, I'm actually right there with you. I can't wait to watch CeeDee Lamb and Breece Hall boom their former owner and Mike for trading them. And Yeah. Good luck, Forrest.
Good luck, Forrest. Good luck, Mike. Last but not least, it is 5-5 Mims versus 4-6 Farmer Dave. Take us away, Todd. Who you got here?
Unfortunately for Farmer Dave, he's not going to win. Mims has some juicy matchups this week. And even though he's still unable to find a decent running back too, starting, former Broncos great Royce Freeman, who I can't imagine rumbles to anything more than 4 points this game. But even so, I think Mims is going to carry the day.
Yeah, I agree with you, Todd. Jared Goff could go off against Chicago. That's the matchup that really stands out to me here. So yeah, I'm picking Mims. Weekly wager, obviously you just gave it. $5 on you winning straight up against AJ. We'll have to see how many owners take that. And before we go, Todd, any last words? Anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, Adler was actually listening in on the live take of his first sponsor read, and he wanted to run it back. He didn't like the first copy, so I'm going to give him one more chance here. And it's Adler's Fine Rugs, the finest rugs for the finest folks. Use code MUNCH, that's MUNCH, for 31% off. And he also wanted to let you know that his advanced rug stats show that they only have the finest rugs. I don't know what stats those are, but if they're anything like the stats he uses to have dominant trades and dominant fantasy football performance, I would listen to him.
Yeah, it must be true. And Adler must be a fan of New York rap for Munch there. That's what I assume he means. I don't know what else he could be talking about there, but I guess we'll just have to see. Good to have you as a new sponsor there, Adler. Thanks for joining the program. And yeah, great to talk to you again, Todd. I'm sorry that it wasn't in person this time. We got pretty spoiled last week, but looking forward to another great week of WPFL action. And good luck to your team.
We certainly will have to run it back again soon, Ryan. Can't wait to do a live in-person pod again. Maybe sometime around Nixon's wedding. Who knows? But, we had a lot of great feedback from the chat. A lot of people saying, wow, why hasn't Adler been on before? He's actually a pretty cool and funny guy. They said it just like that. And, for all of our listeners out there, I just want to remind you, it's Thursday night. Get your Thursday players out of your flex. Start the guys that, will do better. Not like Mims, who's starting the bad guys. And remember, Ryan, don't get buffaloed.